Hey guys, it's Brooke. I hope you are all having a wonderful Saturday and that you all had a good week. It was a crazy week for me, the first week back to school after Christmas break, which no one thinks is fun ever, but it was the beginning of my last semester in high school, so that's pretty exciting. So today I'm going to be talking about my most anticipated album releases of 2019. I normally don't do things in like a top 10 way, but I actually do have a top 10 for this. I have my top 10 most anticipated albums. And to me, what goes into a most anticipated album is, do I actually think that this person is going to release an album this year? And, you know, how much will I be excited over this person releasing an album this year? I have about 5 honorable mentions that didn't quite make the list, but I would also be really excited to see what they put out this year. We're gonna start with the honorable mentions.
When you hit the ground,
if you're gonna let me down gently, don't pretend.
Mark on the times we had around it.
Wait for the love of my life, and when I die alone,
Looking through my room for the money.
Number 10 on my list is Miss Billie Eilish, and a few months ago, I say a few months ago, it was probably almost a year ago, I got really into her song Copycat, and her name has pretty much just been everywhere recently within the last, I'd probably year or so. And I just recently actually got into Don't Smile at Me, which is her EP, which for the longest time I actually thought was a studio album, and it's a very long EP, so I think it could classify as a studio album, but it's considered an EP. I realized that I should have gotten into her much sooner, and I'm honestly obsessed with that EP, and everyone's talking about her, and I feel like everyone's like kind of sitting on the edge waiting for her to release the full debut studio album, and I am as well. Next is The Pretty Reckless, which might surprise some of you that this is on here, but I really love Taylor Momsen, and I really love The Pretty Reckless and their sound. Their last album, Who You Selling For, was a miss for a lot of people, but it's actually my favorite album that they've ever done. I listen to songs off of that album daily still. It's been like 3 years since it came out. I'm really excited to see what they're gonna do next. I just kind of love their music and their vibe, and I love Taylor Momsen. Next is Ed Sheeran, Subtract, Where You At. I'm not 100% sure that he's gonna release an album this year. I really feel like he will. I feel like this will be the year, but if he waited until 2020, I wouldn't be super surprised. That's another thing. I feel like everyone and their mom is going to want to be the person who releases an album in 2020 because that's going to be cool. So I feel like so many people might put off releases until 2020.
still one day you'll find that life has the best you.
Next up is Cage the Elephant, and this is one that I think it's pretty much due for them to put out a new release. And a lot of bands, this is true for artists in general, but a lot of bands get, you know, over time, they experiment and the fans don't like the new music as much, or they have less of a hand in writing their own music and the quality of the music goes down. And I do not think that that has been the case for Cage the Elephant. I love every record that Cage the Elephant has put out, including their most recent one. Not everyone agrees with me on that, but I do not think that they've lost any of their integrity as a band as they have gotten older. and I think that the music they make is still great, but they also have matured, but in a really good way, and I really hope new music from them comes out this year.
This is my heritage, I'm inheriting money and power to make marriages. Tell me something.
Next is Kendrick Lamar, Kung Fu Kenny, K. Dot, whatever you would like to call him, and he's another one where I'm like, I really want to see what Kendrick is going to do next. That is going to be an epic release. I know following up Damn is going to be really hard, but everyone thought it was going to be really hard to follow up to Pimp a Butterfly, and then he put out Damn. So I'm really excited to see what he does. I really didn't become a huge fan of him until the album cycle for Damn, and I've gotten more into some of his other music. You know, I don't like every single song that he does, but I really like him as a person. He's my favorite current rapper out there. I think he is a true artist, and I really like him and have a lot of respect for him, and I cannot wait to see what he does in this upcoming year.
Then I get so numb with all the laughter that I forget.
Next is the most overdue release ever, the Louis Tomlinson solo project, which he kind of makes it sound on social media like that project is kind of being held hostage, and that's why it hasn't been released, because he's like, yeah, I'm ready to release it, but I can't yet. And I've really enjoyed every single that Louis Tomlinson has put out, and I so want to see what he's gonna do with a full-length album. And I so thought that was gonna happen in 2018, but then it just didn't. And he has out, 3 or 4 singles, and you would think that would be like, okay, we're hyping up for a release, but then they just haven't released the album, and I'm like, Louis always gets screwed over. Please put this album out. I'm not blaming Louis, because I think he's ready to put the album out too. Just, please, this is the most overdue thing I could think of.
I don't think things too.
Next is a big one for me, which is Catfish and the Bottlemen, and I am not totally sure if they're putting out an album or not. I've just kind of suspected that they are. They are about to go on a tour, so I'm kind of thinking like maybe March, April, once they get done with this tour that they just announced, they might kind of go into the new album cycle, which would make me very happy. Love everything that they have put out so far in their career. I just love their music, and I need more. It's been since 2016.
Sorry, I could be so blind. Didn't mean to leave you and all of the things that we.
We're getting into the top 3 now, which are probably very predictable if you know me. But number 3 is Halsey. I love Halsey so much. I have since Room 93 came out. She just has a very special place in my heart as someone who I probably wouldn't have gotten through middle and high school without. But a lot of people say that about bands or artists and almost look at them nostalgically, but that's not how I look at Halsey. I feel like Halsey is still on top of things, and she's still making relevant music. And I'm acting like she's really old. She really hasn't been out for that long. But I'm saying she's not someone that I've grown out of. Like, I am so excited to see what she puts out. I adore Without Me, which is her single. I still have not seen her in concert, so I would really like for her to start another album cycle so I can, go see her. Hopefully, I say that every time. But, yeah, I cannot wait to see what she does. And a lot of things have happened in her life since the last album, and I know that the writing on this one is going to be beautiful. Next is Harry, which was a tough fight with number 1. I'm not 100% sure if he's going to release another album this year, but I feel like it is definitely a possibility, and I really hope he does. Like, please. And you guessed it, folks, number 1 is TS7, Taylor Swift's newest album. Once again, it's not confirmed that this is actually coming out, but November, this is one that I'm obviously predicting to be a very end of 2019 release. I think that she will hopefully, you know, continue in her pattern of releasing albums in the late fall. She releases the single in the late summer and releases the album in the fall, and I'm hoping she's going to do that. It used to be 2 years in between every album, and they would come out in the fall every 2 years. But then she skipped a year, but then Reputation still came out in November. So assuming that she isn't going to take another like gap year, what I mean, she had a lot going on during the gap year, it's like on the imaginary schedule that she's going to release an album in the fall of 2019, and I really, really hope she does. Yeah guys, thank you so much for watching this. Please let me know what your most anticipated albums of 2019 are in the comments, and make sure to like this video if you did in fact like it, and follow me on Twitter. Here's my Twitter right here. And also, please take a few minutes to check out #JusticeForAlyssa or the Alyssa Turney case. What the Alyssa Turney case is a cold case, missing person / murder case that I'm really, really passionate about. If you've watched my videos for a while, you've probably heard me talk about it. And if you follow me on Twitter, you've probably heard me talk about it. But it is unsolved after almost 18 years now, and it's really obvious who did it. I have a whole video on it. Kendall Ray has a whole video on it. I tweet about it all the time. That case is just my entire heart. So the main thing that it needs is media attention to push it forward and to get the law enforcement to realize, oh, hey, we need to do something about this. And the law enforcement themselves had said, you know, get media coverage. So please, please check that out. It's a very interesting story, and it is something that is so important to me. There's a petition you can sign that'll instantly help. I will link that, as well as some other resources. Yeah guys, I will see you on Wednesday. I have a video planned for Wednesday that I'm working on right now. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye.